Good morning and welcome. Today's Friday, August 22nd, 2025. You're tuned into your daily news update on Blip Brief, small but almost everything updated daily. This deep dive, well, it's your express shortcut to navigating the fast-moving currents of the global economy, the vibrant Indian markets, and the most impactful world events from just the last 24 hours. We're not just listing headlines here. Our mission is to go beyond them. Really unpack the why behind the numbers, the strategic moves, and, the surprising facts, all designed to keep you sharply informed for your day. I'll be guiding you through the most compelling stories.
And I'll be here to help connect those dots, offering that crucial, bigger picture perspective and those essential takeaways.
Let's dive in.
It's true. Understanding today's world means seeing how deeply interconnected global and local economies really are. Often, a seemingly small event on one side of the world can create unexpected ripples, far away. This deep dive aims to uncover those connections for you.
Exactly. So let's start with a snapshot. Indian markets and the corporate pulse from yesterday. The closing bell on August 21st, 2025, around 4:14 p.m. IST, it revealed a largely flat day, yet with some interesting undercurrents. The Sensex closed just over 82,000 points. That's up a modest 0.2%.
Very modest.
And the Nifty 50 saw a similar slight gain, 0.1%, to reach 25,083. But one notable shift was gold. It dipped almost 1%, down to 19,930.0.
That gold moving is particularly interesting, isn't it? A dip like that, it often signals that investors are feeling a bit more confident, perhaps moving capital out of traditional safe havens like gold.
Right, into assets they see as having higher growth potential.
Exactly. Or it could also reflect anticipation around shifts in global monetary policy, especially with major speeches on the horizon, like Powell's today.
That's a sharp observation. And speaking of where confidence might be flowing, we saw concentrated strength in a few key sectors. Nifty Pharma led the pack, up a full 1.0%. Nifty Health, BSE Healthcare, BSE Realty, they all posted decent gains too.
Yeah, around 0.5% or more for some of those.
So it suggests targeted investor confidence, even on an otherwise, quiet day. Now, for the individual companies that really stood out, the movers and shakers. On the gaining side, Cipla jumped 3.0%. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories up 2.5%.
We're doing moves in pharma.
Definitely. And Bajaj Finserv also gained over 1%, notably because Jefferies just initiated coverage on them.
Oh, right, with that 15% upside prediction.
Precisely. Citing promising long-term factors, ICICI Bank, Bajaj Finance, Reliance Industries also saw gains around 1%.
What's fascinating here is how these sectoral and stock-specific movements can happen even when the broader market is relatively flat. It tells us there are strong underlying growth drivers and, positive analyst sentiment in segments like pharmaceuticals and financial services. They can defy that general market inertia.
Good point. On the flip side, though, we saw companies like Coal India dip 1.7%, Bajaj Auto down 1.6%.
Tata Consumer Products, too, also down 1.6%.
And Power Grid Corporation, IndusInd Bank, Hindustan Unilever, all losing over 1%. So looking ahead to today's opening cues, the big story, no doubt, is Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's speech at Jackson Hole later today.
Absolutely.
The GIFT Nifty, that's the Nifty Index traded on the NSE IFSC exchange, gives us a peek into the open. It's currently flat. So, a cautious tone.
Indeed, the Powell effect is paramount right now. His speech will be scrutinized, really scrutinized, for any hints on the Fed's path, especially interest rates.
Is he going to lean hawkish? Signal a tougher stance on inflation?
Or will he acknowledge the market's current expectation? There's a 75% chance priced in for a September rate cut. That's pretty high.
Despite earlier hawkish comments from others at the Fed.
Exactly. So his words today could trigger significant shifts, not just in currency markets. The U.S. dollar is already holding steady with caution, but across global equities, too. Wall Street saw that yesterday.
Yeah, Wall Street declined, partly bracing for Powell, but also Walmart's disappointing results didn't help.
True. And that caution is spilling over into Asia this morning. Choppy trading while everyone waits.
Okay, beyond the daily numbers, some major corporate developments really shaping the landscape for Indian businesses. Take Hindalco, for example. Huge strategic move. They've trimmed a massive 11,800 crore, that's roughly $1.4 billion from their debt in FY25.
That's a significant deleveraging.
And they're not stopping there.
Yeah.
They have an ambitious plan. Invest $8 billion globally. Aluminum, copper, battery materials.
Wow, $8 billion.
And nearly half of that, a substantial $3.9 billion, is specifically earmarked for India.
That's a huge bet on India's industrial future, isn't it? It shows both Financial prudence in managing debt and really aggressive growth ambitions aligns perfectly with India's broader manufacturing and infrastructure push.
Definitely. And then you have Vedanta. They just announced a second interim dividend, using 16 per share for FY26.
Totaling 6,256 crore, about $750 million.
And that commitment to shareholder reward is certainly noteworthy, especially as the company navigates, well, its share of regulatory hurdles.
It speaks volumes about their financial resilience, actually.
How so?
Well, it highlights a strategic balance, right? Rewarding shareholders while navigating a complex operational environment. The ability to issue such a substantial dividend despite challenges points to strong underlying financial health and a clear commitment to investor value.
Makes sense. Shifting gears to tech. Wipro made headlines. $375 million acquisition of Harman's digital transformation solutions.
BTS, yeah.
This significantly boosts Wipro's engineering R&D capabilities, adds over 5,600 employees.
And a business that did, what, over $300 million in revenue last year? CY24 revenue was $314.5 million, I believe.
That's right, so a big move for Wipro.
It's a clear play to strengthen their position in a high-growth segment. Companies are increasingly looking to acquire specialized capabilities rather than, build them from scratch. It accelerates market penetration.
On the public market side, quick note, Apollo Hospital's promoter is likely offloading a 1.25% stake, worth about 1,395 crore.
Relatively small stake, but yeah, sometimes that can create short-term volatility as the market absorbs the new supply of shares. Something to watch.
Now, for a major disruption, this has sent shockwaves through the online gaming sector. The new online gaming bill.
Oh, definitely. Big impact.
Reports suggest Dream11 is reportedly shutting down its core real money gaming business.
That's huge.
And Zoopy is exiting the real money segment too, though they'll keep their free games alive for their 150 million users.
This really explains the why behind the disruption, doesn't it? Prime Minister Modi himself hailed this bill as a crucial push for esports, specifically stating it will save from harmful effects of money games.
So it's a clear regulatory distinction.
Exactly. This isn't just about revenue. It's a significant regulatory shift aimed at, well, public welfare and redefining an entire industry. It sets a new precedent for how digital businesses will operate in India, emphasizing the government's stance on social impact over potentially harmful financial models.
A fundamental shift. Okay, on a slightly lighter note, consumer trends, Parlo emerged as the most preferred FMCG brand.
Always a strong contender.
And Haldiram's broke into the top 10. Interesting to see that shift in consumer loyalty.
It really shows the strength of traditional Indian brands.
And the IPO market. Wow, it's been red hot.
Absolutely buzzing.
We've seen overwhelming demand. Gem Aromatics, 451 crore IPO, oversubscribed more than 30 times. Allotment today.
Incredible demand.
Patel Retail, a 242.76 crore IPO, booked an incredible 95.70 times. Allotment also finalized today.
95 times. That's phenomenal appetite.
Vikram Solar's hefty Euro 2079 crore IPO also saw strong subscription, 54.63 times. Allotment status is out for that one.
The robust IPO activity is a strong indicator, of investor confidence and liquidity in the market.
And we saw Regal Resources debut with a 38% premium.
Clear sign of that appetite, as you said. And for today, 2 new IPOs opening, Classic Electrodes and Anandita Medicare, both showing strong gray market premiums, or GMPs.
Around 40% GMP for both, signaling high expectations.
Right. Those GMPs are unofficial prices before listing, but they definitely show market sentiment. Shivashrit Foods also opens today. This level of activity, though, it prompts a key question. How sustainable is this IPO frenzy in the long run?
It's a fascinating question, one we'll definitely be watching closely. Indeed, the vibrancy here often reflects broader global confidence or sometimes caution, which brings us neatly to the international stage.
Back to Jackson Hole and the Powell effect.
Exactly. All eyes fixed there.
And what's crucial is that delicate balance we talked about. Market pricing says 75% chance of a September cut. But you had those earlier hawkish comments from other policymakers keeping things cautious. That uncertainty, as we mentioned, hit Wall Street yesterday, along with Walmart's results.
And contributing to the choppy Asian shares this morning, Powell's tone today really will dictate the immediate global market direction.
No doubt about it.
Okay, now here's a pivotal development on the geopolitical front. Trump's recent tariff talk and the escalating global trade tensions. A Trump trade advisor made some really surprising comments. directly targeting New Delhi over its Russia ties,
Yeah, calling India a laundromat for Kremlin. That's strong language.
and vowing to double tariffs if Trump is reelected.
This is a really significant point of geopolitical tension, and we're seeing truly conflicting narratives unfold, aren't we?
How so?
Well, India's Foreign Minister, S. Jaishankar, reacted with understandable perplexity. He reminded the U.S. that it was their urging that pushed India to buy Russian oil in the first place.
Right. The context matters.
It demonstrates the complexity and, frankly, sometimes the hypocrisy in international relations.
And it doesn't stop there. China's envoy, Xu Feihong, quickly responded, slammed the proposed 50% Trump tariffs.
And emphatically stated China will stand with India.
That's quite a statement.
It is. And Russia also chimed in, welcoming Indian exports, slamming potential oil duties, and affirming continued oil supply to India under a special mechanism. So you see this complex web of global alliances forming, or at least shifting. Countries are leveraging these tensions.
If we connect this to the bigger picture.
It highlights a potential strategic alignment forming against possible U.S. protectionism. It's also noteworthy that the U.S. and EU are finalizing their own trade deal.
Giving the EU a breather from Trump's tariffs.
Exactly, with a $750 billion energy promise, but also imposing 15% tariffs on cars and pharmaceuticals.
And India's watching this.
Certainly taking cues, there are discussions about India potentially rejoining the world's largest trading bloc, something the U.S. is pushing for, and India is also moving closer towards an FTA, a free trade agreement, with the Eurasian bloc.
Lots of moving parts on trade.
Definitely. And the U.S.-EU framework could certainly be a valuable lesson for India's ongoing EU FTA negotiations.
Okay, let's bring it down to the individual level for a moment. Impact on people, global talent flow, immigration and workforce news. The Trump administration froze work visas for foreign truck drivers, citing concerns about American jobs, safety.
And imposed new fees on foreigners seeking work permits.
This is having a clear impact. We've seen nearly 50% decline in Indian student U.S. arrivals.
Which translates to a predicted potential $7 billion loss just from that F-1 visa slump alone. That's a significant economic and social impact.
Huge.
And in contrast, you see other countries taking different approaches. Australia, for instance, is expanding English test options for visa applicants.
Making it easier in some ways.
And Canada just announced lottery results for foreign workers seeking permanent residence. So, diverse global strategies addressing workforce needs and immigration policies.
Very different paths being taken. Okay, shifting back to India. Economic policy, infrastructure development. The Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, is currently seeking feedback on inflation targeting, wading into what they call a perpetual debate.
Which shows the central bank's active engagement in refining its policy tools amidst, complex economic conditions.
Meanwhile, the bond market is signaling no further rate cuts. Why? Fiscal concerns, worries about government deficits or debt levels.
That bond market signal is crucial. It reflects investor sentiment about the government's fiscal health and inflationary pressures, suggests a cautious stance on future rate actions.
And on the GST front, the group of ministers, the GAZOM, is favoring a 40% GST plus cess on luxury goods and tobacco.
A significant rate.
While a GST revamp is expected to lower prices overall, the second-round effects are still, well, unclear. Could potentially benefit the FMCG sector, though.
Possibly. Lower input costs, maybe.
And we saw India's private sector posted record growth in August, according to the HSBC Flash survey. That's great news. But there's still concern over muted private capex. Capital expenditure by businesses for future growth is still lagging.
That muted private capex is a critical point. While current private sector growth is positive, a lack of investment in new capacities, well, it can hinder long-term sustainable growth. Suggests businesses are still hesitant to commit big funds to expansion.
Right. But on the public investment side, we're seeing concrete signs of progress. Prime Minister Modi is inaugurating the Kolkata Metro expansion today. The airport link, the Sealdah Esplanade corridor.
Big win for urban infrastructure there. Tangible progress.
Definitely. And just for quick context, India's outbound investments grew a whopping 67% to $41.6 billion in FY25.
Shows increasing global footprint for Indian capital.
And Maharashtra farmers topped crop insurance claims with an astounding 18,920 crore. Highlights both investment appetite and the challenges and resilience in agriculture.
These are vital numbers, reinforcing the dynamic nature of India's economy right now, from huge projects to individual support.
Okay, let's round out our global snapshot. Some quick hits on other top world events from the last 24 hours. Oil prices, poised to end a 2-week losing streak. Why? Hopes for a swift Russia-Ukraine resolution are diminishing.
And Trump hinting at letting Ukraine fight back adds another layer of uncertainty there. The conflict continues to impact global commodities.
Meanwhile, Iran's Navy launched its first military drill, Sustainable Power 1404, since its recent conflict with Israel.
Clearly signaling a projection of strength in a very sensitive region, a strong geopolitical signal.
In U.S. domestic news, interesting appointment. Airbnb co-founder Joe Gebbia. He's the first chief design officer for federal services.
With a $10 billion budget to modernize outdated digital infrastructure.
Fascinating move, right? Bringing private sector design thinking to government.
It is intriguing. It's a recognition of the need for user-centric design, even in government services. Raises the question, though, can private sector innovation truly transform public infrastructure on such a massive scale?
One to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Also, a judge ordered the closure of the controversial Alligator Alcatraz Immigration Detention Center. And finally, natural events. A 7.5 magnitude earthquake in the Drake Passage, thankfully no tsunami alert.
Yeah.
And closer to home, a bomb threat at a Dwarka school, plus heavy rains and IMD orange alerts in Chennai.
A reminder of the constant background risks and events.
Indeed. Now, let's transition from those headlines. Let's do our innovation deep dive. This could fundamentally change medicine as we know it. What truly stands out here is a groundbreaking discovery. Scientists at UCSF, University of California, San Francisco.
Yes, I saw this. Fascinating stuff.
They've uncovered a surprising culprit behind brain aging, a protein called FTL1.
It's a monumental discovery, really. In their studies on mice, they found that too much FTL1 caused clear signs of brain aging.
Like what specifically?
Think memory loss, weaker brain connections, synapses not firing as well, sluggish brain cells overall. The classic signs we associate with aging brains.
Okay, so too much FTL1 is bad for brain aging in mice.
Right. But here's the really exciting part, the aha moment. When they reduced the levels of FTL1,
Yes.
these negative effects were actually reversed.
Reversed, you mean improved?
Improved significantly. The brain cells became more active, connections strengthened, cognitive performance got better.
Wow. Reversed. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for us, beyond the lab? For humans?
Well, the implications are profound. This isn't just an interesting lab finding about mice. It's potentially a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of human brain aging.
To new treatments.
It could pave the way for entirely new strategies to combat neurodegenerative diseases. Think Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or even just to improve general cognitive health as we all age.
Imagine that.
Imagine the possibility of a treatment that could effectively roll back some of the clock on brain decline, allowing us to maintain sharper minds for longer. It points towards a future where healthier, longer cognitive lives are truly within reach.
Amazing potential.
Of course, the journey from mice to human treatments is always a complex and long one, but the potential is undeniable.
What a thought to end on. So you've just been equipped with the essential knowledge from today's dynamic shifts in Indian markets, that complex global trade landscape involving the U.S., China, Russia.
And that groundbreaking science that could maybe transform our future cognitive health.
Exactly. So in a world where yesterday's news is today's context and today's innovation reshapes tomorrow, how will you use this knowledge to navigate what comes next? What aspect of this deep dive will you be thinking about long after the headlines fade?